I still think this was an incredibly interesting fight. Yeah. I think people should be upset with Yoel. I don't think people should be mad at Izzy for winning when they want him to win harder.
48-47.
Yeah.
But Izzy definitely won unanimously.
Still. Yep. Hot take. I think Izzy did exactly what he should have. I don't think Izzy should have fought at all differently. I think he kept ahead on volume. He protected himself. What I was worried about is he was going to go for legacy and try to exchange in the pocket with Yoel.
And he didn't.
He didn't do any flamboyant things that would make him more vulnerable to a shot from Yoel. I think Israel Adesanya did exactly what he should have. I think this is 100% on Yoel Romero, just like most of his losses are on his own fault for not pulling the trigger. He's one of the best fighters in the UFC defensively. He's one of the best fighters in the UFC offensively. One of the most explosive, one of the most accurate, and one of the most consistently low volume who just doesn't do what he needs to do to win rounds.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, and obviously this is hindsight, right? Because we thought Yoel was going to use his burst, he was going to use his blitz.
And we saw
like glimmers of that, right?
Yeah.
And in transparency, he definitely won 1 and 5, 100%. Right? Like 1 and 5 was Yoel Romero's rounds. Unfortunately, he just needed one more round and he could not pull the trigger.
And unfortunately, he consistently shows he will not pull the trigger.
He needs a dance partner. He needs a willing dance partner. That's why the Paulo Costa fight was amazing, right?
That was Costa. That was Costa willing to engage.
Exactly.
But the thing that people are not going to say about this fight is you shouldn't. Why should you engage with someone if someone's not willing to lead? Why should you let them fight their fight?
Right.
Israel Adesanya did exactly what he should have. He picked his engagement.
He was just leg kicking him over.
He dictated the range. He did what he needed to do to win. And I think it's absolutely shameful that a judge is trying to tell fighters that they should be fighting more actively. That's ludicrous.
That's the main thing. A referee cannot say give us something to judge about. No, you just gotta let them fight.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that this was not an action pack like the co-main event, but to be honest, it was a chess match, right?
And I'm disappointed because I like Yoel Romero a lot. I think that what he does defensively for the sport is actually pushing the boundaries of what defense in MMA looks like. His explosivity, everything. I'm disappointed in Yoel's performance, but Dan Miragliotta has no right to tell Yoel or to tell Israel Adesanya to fight in a different way
and to take chances.
Yeah,
right?
If there's two fighters and there's one punch exchange that whole round, the fighter who threw that punch won it. It does not matter what the referee thinks. Yeah. It does not matter if the crowd is booing. The crowd is irrelevant, except that they might influence the judge's unconscious biases.
Dan Miragliotta's fucking whole shit is to protect the fighters. The best way to protect the fighters is to not get them out of their element. And yes, the last time Dan Miragliotta fucking did that, guess who got fucking knocked out? Steven motherfucking Struess. Went badly. Because he was fucking winning the fight. He got kicked in the balls, twice or 3 times, and Dan said, go out there and be a warrior.
Yeah, you're winning the fight. Go out there. You're winning the fight.
You're winning, and he got knocked out.
CTE, baby. You're not a coach. If you're a referee, you're not a coach. You're there to enforce the rules. You're not there to help provide entertainment. You're not there to help either fighter, to give them strategic advice. That's not your role. I think, frankly, people aren't going to look favorably on this fight. I think Israel Adesanya showed that he is a damn disciplined, game plan based fighter, and I'm actually incredibly impressed with him this fight because he showed he'll stick to the game plan and do what he needs to do to win regardless of the crowd. That's keeping your head under pressure, and I don't think Izzy should have done anything differently.
No, I mean look at what Rob Whittaker had to do for 10 rounds.
Yeah,
he had to outrange Yoel Romero with the same height and reach that Yoel has. Right? The only reason why Izzy was able to beat Yoel, besides that Yoel wasn't blitzing him and he wasn't willing to expend his cardio, I think it was totally acceptable once Yoel won that first round that he's like, okay, I can take 2 rounds off now.
Yeah.
I can take 2 rounds off, but I have to win 3. I have to win 4. I have to win 5.
I think he should have gone 1-3-5.
Yeah, that would have been amazing.
And he went 1-5, but he expended almost no energy to try to actually win round 3. Yoel Romero remains one of the most frustrating, best, and also worst MMA fighters in the UFC, bar none. I still think this was an incredibly interesting fight.
Yeah.
I think that people are going to be upset about it. I think people should be upset with Yoel. I don't think people should be mad at Izzy for winning when they want him to win harder. Yoel lost rounds.
Yeah.
If the fighter who is losing is the one who is at fault for losing those rounds. If Yoel wanted to win those rounds, he should have either picked his engagements differently or tried to be a higher volume.
Yeah, I think he definitely needed to start doing his wrestling at number 3.
Yeah.
At number 3, he should have really tried to win that round, and I think he could have won.
He could have. That's the thing.
He could have won.
Yoel could have won round 3.
And it said after the round that Yoel started doing 100 push-ups, right?
That's stupid. That means he had more in his gas tank.
That doesn't mean jack shit. Literally, he lost the chance to be a champion because he wasn't willing to unload that. I mean, obviously, Yoel is he is worried. I don't want to say scared of running out his gas tank.
Yeah.
And if you've sparred, if you've done anything combat related, when you are out of your gas tank, you're out of almost anything.
And
everything,
you're just done.
Right? You're
You're
done.
done.
You're fucking done.
But the problem is that, like, it doesn't matter how good you are if you don't pull the trigger. Like, you could be the best marksman in the world, but if you don't pull the trigger at the right time, does it matter that you could hit a shot hypothetically a mile away if you won't pull the trigger when you could? No, it doesn't. Yoel Romero might be the best MMA fighter on the planet, but he can't pull the trigger, and he's shown that in many fights now. He can't pull the trigger to win fights. That's what the difference is. He can't pull the trigger to win rounds. He can't pull the trigger to win fights. He does pull the trigger to try to find opportunistic finishes.
To KO and to finish.
Credit to Izzy, because Romero should have created opportunities. Izzy did a great job of not allowing opportunities. I think he only allowed maybe 4 or 5 opportunities in the whole fight. This was a great defensively sound performance on how to lead as a rangy fighter. That's what I think. I think Izzy was great. Why? I think he's going to get a lot of boos, especially because of the showboating Yoel did in round 5. So I think a lot of the crowd and a lot of the fans are going to be on Romero's side. I don't think Izzy should have done anything differently.
I concur. When you and we didn't call this fight or anything like that. We don't know shit.
We picked Yoel for knockout.
We don't know shit about MMA. But one thing that you can say about Yoel Romero, like we've been alluding to, is the fact that if he can't win fights by knockout, then he will lose the fights, right? And so all Israel Adesanya has to do is not show the knockout.
Yeah.
That's all he has to do. And to be honest, he got caught with some clean
He got
overhands.
hit really hard.
Really hard.
Even fighting the fight that he did. So why should he enter into the pocket and try to trade? Why should he? There's no reason to. That being said, tell us what you guys think. Are you pissed at Izzy? Are you pissed at Yoel? I'm not mad at Israel Adesanya. I think he did exactly what he needed to do to win the fight, and that's what a fucking champion does. And he's still the champion. Ultimately, that's what matters.
Yeah.
That's what matters. I'm frustrated.
And Paulo Costa can't beat Israel Adesanya.
I'm very curious what's going to happen, just because Costa is going to come forward so heavily. And I still think that we read the vulnerabilities that Israel Adesanya has very well. And I think he is vulnerable to blitzes. Costa's not nearly as explosive or fluid as Yoel, but Costa might still be able to find him.
We'll see.
We will see. I hope that is the next fight that's made. I still am a fan of watching Israel Adesanya fight, regardless. And Yoel. He's the most frustrating fighter to be a fan of, 100%. That being said, Ginger,
and the Bear,
we're out. Tell us in the comments what you thought.